I was meant to do a different video on Christmas Day. The idea was to come out to the golf course and talk to the camera, just like I did in Burbank when I was up in the hills. But the issue is on Christmas Day, this looked like spring. There wasn't a piece of snow to be found. I wanted to talk about how it was my first Christmas Day alone since I was, ever. And I was going to reflect on that and be super dramatic as always, and then let the conversation go where it does, as I do when I talk to myself. But I wanted to wait for first snow that stuck. And now, weeks later, it's middle of January, and finally, the snow has come. But in the meantime, between Christmas Day of last year and the middle of the new year, things have naturally happened. So I'd rather talk about something else. This place here in Metro Detroit, this beautiful snow globe, I call it, where there's skiers at the top of the hill and a closed golf course. It's just beautiful, and it's the highest point in Oakland County, supposedly. It's what they say, which I always point out when people are over. Like, look out the window. Like, even at 11:30 in the afternoon, midday, you can still see color in the sky because you're so... Anyway, so what has happened was an altering piece of information was given to me while I was back home visiting for the holidays here. My parents, who my mother has spent her entire life in Metro Detroit, has not gone, I love saying this, has not gone outside of a 30-mile radius her whole life in terms of where she's lived. And my dad, they both have decided that they're leaving. And like many, of course, him being from Brooklyn, New York, Florida is where you go when you get older. So they told all of us kids that this is it. Like, during the course of this year, they'll sell the house and get a bigger place in Florida and make it full time. And which is great. I'm really happy for them. And they're those people that I tell this story all the time with people that I know. They're those people that have worked their entire lives. They've been told, which most of the boomer generation was told, get a job, work your way up, and stay with, 3 or 4 companies throughout your life. You'll make good money if you just sacrifice, and then you'll retire at a certain age, before 65, 70, and then you'll have however many years to enjoy yourself. And I'm glad they're finally making that transition. And there's nothing else I can really say about that. But because of that, I am now back home emptying the house of all of my childhood things and trinkets and and collectibles and things that have been passed down through the family. And as much as I am a traveler and as many places as I've been, I keep things. I'm very nostalgic, and I know one day I have this terrible millennial fantasy, which most likely will not come true, that I'll have my own place, my own house, like the one I grew up in, that I can just fill with all of these beautiful things that have been passed down to me through my family and things I've collected from different countries and travels and projects. But I don't know about that. Either way, this video is transformed. Not me talking about what it was like being alone on Christmas Day, which was pretty uneventful, just movies and ice cream. But it's become me reflecting as I walked out onto this golf course to set this shot up, reflecting on just the beauty of where I was born and raised. Michigan is a place that I've come back to for the past however many years I've been gone from home, over 10 years. I come back to this place, whether I had gone to a different country or just different part of this country. And when I enter back into this land, there's this energy and just it feels so good to be on this soil, on this ground. And I think people have that wherever they're born and raised, of course. And that's natural, I would think. But having been out west for so long, for my career, whatever that is, it's hard to think that I wouldn't have this place to come back to anymore. I never thought, I could never imagine that the place I'm from, where I was raised and where my parents are, that would never go away, right? Like, I don't know if many people think about that, but I guess sooner or later it does happen, and now it's happening. So I have to imagine this place is not really going to be for me anymore. I would come back to visit family, and when they leave, well, there goes my free place to stay as well, but it also doesn't really give me much of a reason to come back. And I want to talk about the beauty of Michigan and what it was like growing up as a kid. I have these few memories, and I can't tell if they're from the VHS tapes that I've seen or the stories I've been told, or if the memories are mine. I think regardless, your brain fills in the gaps or invents things. But I remember when I was young, playing in the leaves in the fall. The yards would be full of leaves, and you spend half the day just raking them into a pile and jumping in the leaves, and just these browns and oranges and yellows. And I remember painting in the backyard on a canvas and using the leaves as mixed media, I now know to call it.
Where are you going?
Santa Claus.
You going to see Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Okay, isn't that woman there gorgeous? Look at that face.
Just the beauty of being surrounded by lakes and being out on a boat in the spring and summer and just sleeping out on the water and feeling the rocking of the boat and to now where I feel comfortable on the water, at sea, on a lake. I love that. It almost puts me to sleep. Or being in the snow and rolling around and making snowmen and sledding and just running down hills until you're going too fast that you have to fall and just roll the rest of the way. There's something about this place that I'm from that offers so much of nature and learning about yourself through nature. I found people say that about being in the desert or being in the mountains, whatever. That certain place does that for a person. But when you're in a place like Michigan, where you don't have to drive far to get to a lake so big that it looks like an ocean, where there's beaches and there's sand dunes, and in the winter, you can ski on any hill. These beautiful pieces of land that are preserved, and they get to see the seasons, and therefore you get to see the seasons. When I was growing up, you just enjoy what it is. And I don't think you know what exactly it is until you leave. And I'm glad I've left so many times and have come back. And it's sad to think that maybe I don't come back to this place. Or if I do, it won't be like it is now. And maybe that changes the definition I have of it as well. Maybe it's more of the feeling that I have of being here than the actual place. It's not California. It's not Arizona. It's not a place that I've been so often where you know what you're gonna get. There's only two different versions of a lot of places in the world. And of course there's a lot of places like this, but this one is special to me. And I just remember when I was a kid, loving nature and going out and not coming back for 8 hours and just going through the woods. And I was young, and so even just this tree line when I was young, it felt like a forest. Like places like this growing up, the world felt so big, and discovering nature was, I think, now what I appreciate the most. And I don't really know if these memories are what they really are, but I'm happy that they did happen because I know that I am who I am because of them. Yeah. I love Michigan. This place is great, and I'm glad I got to experience it the way I did.
There we go. What do you have those on?
Say Merry Christmas!
Good day.
Open, open.
No more Pepsi.
And the water walked away. Oh, he go back and go back and go all the way. Oh, my father's way, and wonder what this way. We're passing through the snow, and we're born this way. Oh, we have to go. West another way, ha ha, I don't bother we. Thinking better why. God is white, and the water walked away. Oh, we can go back, and go back, and go all the way. On the father's way, and we lost this way. We're passing through the snow, and we lost this way.
Tyler, when does this end?